I've gotten used to it.
Sure.
I'm the first person to laugh about it, so it becomes easier.
Then it means you are fine. It means you are fine with it already. Samuel Adami was also laughing when you said you are the first person to laugh. So it means you are used to it.
Don't mind Sammy. Sammy has his own issues. I won't talk about it on air today.
He's in a Batakari today too, so.
Oh, okay. Batakari, good morning. Winston, over the weekend, when I got home from the burial and funeral of my father-in-law, I realized that I needed a distraction very badly. I went on YouTube, which is one of my escapes, and I chanced upon a video on the dark side of mega churches. It was a very disturbing video to watch. In the video, you see supposed men of God getting their church members to do very strange things, all in the name of God. Winston, one of them got his members to drink rat poison.
What?
Claiming that just as Jesus turned water into wine, he had turned the poison into fruit juice.
My goodness.
It led to the death of some 5 members of his church. Another bathed the female members in church in the full view of the whole congregation. Winston, the ladies go to the front, you strip, and he baths you like you are bathing a baby in the bathroom. Another reduced his members into horses and drove them in church, literally. Then there's the one who claimed that, and this was my favorite, Winston. He claimed that he ascended to heaven and took a selfie with God and was selling copies of the selfie to his church members, telling them that it was a ticket to heaven.
How?
Yeah. And it wasn't cheap. The price he was giving for that was not cheap, and it was selling like hotcake. As I watched what I regarded as the excesses of these pastors, I began to wonder what would make a normal, rational human being subject himself or herself to such abuses and clear deception. As I thought about it, I realized that 2 things could be responsible for people being willing to subject themselves to such abuses. One is desperation, and the other is ignorance. Desperation is a dangerous thing. A desperate person can be dangerous and be in danger at the same time. And the truth is that life in general can easily drive us into desperation. And life in Ghana in particular can be so frustrating that it will rob us of all hope. No wonder 3 of the 10 pastors featured doing questionable things to their flocks were Ghanaians, and their churches were filled to overflowing. Desperation comes when hope is lost. And unfortunately, we have gradually created a nation where hope has vanished for many Ghanaians. We have created a nation where the average Ghanaian is so desperate that he or she would do anything and go to any extent to get just a little bit of hope. We can condemn these pastors for taking out, pardon me. We can condemn these pastors for taking their members for a ride. But the truth is that these fake pastors are only benefiting from a system created by our leaders and by all of us. When we rob someone of hope to the point where he or she goes searching in desperation for anything to hold on to, then we cannot put all the blame on the person who takes advantage of the desperation we have created. We will have to blame all those who contributed to the desperation in the first place. I still believe that Ghana can be a paradise, but as it is now, it is only foreigners who seem to enjoy the paradise bit of Ghana. A young lady I know has been on a search for accommodation, and it has been very depressing hearing the kind of rents and how many years of rent advance are being demanded. It does look like it is impossible these days to get a decent accommodation for less than 1,500 Ghana cedis. You have to multiply that by a minimum of 2 years for advance.
Yeah.
For a young lady earning around 2,000 Ghana cedis. That is a hopeless situation. Her budget is 700 Ghana cedis, but the agents tell her that with that budget, she can forget about getting a decent place. Our collective insistence that every lady should get married and every married woman should have a child throws a lot of decent ladies into such desperation that they are willing to do anything to save themselves from the stigma, the ridicule, the pressure, the insults, and the rejection they are forced to deal with every day.
Mm-hmm.
Life in Ghana has become desperate for too many Ghanaians. And unfortunately, we all seem to have contributed and continue to contribute to it. But desperation is not the only thing that drives people into the holes of these woods of fake pastors. The other reason is ignorance. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says, quote, "For the lack of knowledge, my people perish," end of quote. Ignorance will make you over-spiritualize everything. What we do not understand, we attribute to the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe in the spiritual, but not everything is spiritual. Not every misfortune in life is spiritual. Not every illness is spiritual. Not every failure is spiritual. The problem is that when you seek spiritual explanation for anything, you'll find somebody, be that person a spiritualist or a pastor, to give you a spiritual explanation. When a food seller lowers the quality of her food and continues to give her customers attitude, and the customers flee with their money and the business collapses, and if this person runs to a spiritualist or a fake pastor for help, the spiritualist is not going to tell this person to improve her customer service practice and improve the quality of her food to save her business. No, the spiritualist will find something totally unrelated to the real cause to attribute the collapse of the business to. In the 90s, my kid brother Jude played for a top Premier League team. He was competing for the same position with the teammates, and he was not getting enough play time. The coach seemed to prefer the other player, and my brother went almost half a season sitting on the bench. People went to my brother and told him that the reason he was not getting any play time is because the mother of the other player was a fetish priestess, and she had jujued my brother, and that if my brother did not pass somewhere, that is, if he did not go and consult a spiritualist for help, then that would be the end of his soccer career. My brother told me about this and asked me to take him to a spiritualist. But I knew the dangers of over-spiritualizing issues. So instead of going to see a spiritualist, I went to see the coach, introduced myself to him, and asked him if there was any reason my brother was not getting any play time. The coach said, "Mr. White, your brother is one of the most talented players I know, but he has no stamina. He has only 20 minutes of soccer in him at any given time." With that information, I hired a personal trainer for my brother who gave him some drills on a daily basis to help him build stamina. And within 3 weeks, Winston, my brother was starting matches and finishing them. My brother sitting on the bench had no spiritual courses. He just needed to up his game. And when he did, he won back his position in the team. I know there are evil spirits, but I also know that in most cases, the evil spirit working against us can be seen when we look in the mirror. There are false prophets and fake pastors, but they never force anyone to become their victims. We make victims for them with the kind of difficult society we have created. And we make victims of ourselves with our ignorance and failure to get the right answers to life's issues. False prophets and fake pastors will always be with us, but we can ensure that we do not drive that many people to them by creating a much better and enabling society for all of us. And let each of us see what we can do to help somebody from becoming so desperate that drinking rat poison seems like a good solution to his problems. And Winston, that is my presentation for this morning.
Thank you very, very much, Uncle Ebo White. In fact, this is a great presentation. It reminds all of us, like you've just stated, a lot of pressures that we have to go through, sometimes driving people to do these things. And that's always the challenge. And so this is indeed food for thought. Thank you very much, Uncle. And but Uncle, before you go, this morning we're having a conversation about your experience at healthcare facilities in Ghana, particularly the healthcare worker-patient relationship. What's that experience?
Winston, I'm the wrong person to ask because over a period of 12 years or so, I have helped in the raising of doctors. I have supported and sponsored a number of people through medical school. Mm-hmm. Indeed, Winston, did you know that my first production, my first Roverman play on Happy Wives, Confused Husbands, the ushers for that day were medical students.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were medical students who I was supporting and who I had a relationship with. I have always been a friend of the medical school. And so because of that, my experience with our health delivery will not be typical.
Okay.
Because almost every facility I'll go to, I'll have somebody there who has become my child, my son or my daughter.
Okay.
Because I have invested in them. I love to invest in the lives of some of these wonderful people. So, unfortunately, and this is full disclosure.
Okay. Uncle, thank you. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Time now for the Joy Business Report. Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana. CBG, we stand with you.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute. It is brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you. Prices of petroleum products may go down by between 3 and 6% from next month.